Hey, welcome to this episode of the Movement Mentality Podcast. I am so excited to introduce you to my internet friend, Francesca, who lives on the. Where do you live? I feel like it's East Coast.
Yeah, outside of Washington, D.C.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Um, so we see a lot of movement and pain stuff very similarly. We had connected, I don't know how many years ago online, but I'm really excited to learn more about you and bring your thought process, your journey to my audience, and just share how you got to where you are. Like, really, how did you do it? Like logistical steps. So, okay, so you live on the East Coast. Tell us, like, just a little bit about you and, like, where are you at in this phase of your life and your career and business and motherhood and all the things?
Yeah, sure. I have to say, two working moms, we made this time slot happen. It was not the easiest, but good job us. We are both here. None of our kids are sick, right? Everything's good. Um, yeah, so I'm Francesca Cervero. I have been a full-time yoga teacher for 20 years. I started teaching in New York City. I was a dancer and lived and taught in New York for 10 years and then moved to Washington, D.C., and have been teaching here another 10 years. And a lot of that time, what made this for me a sustainable career, both like financially and energetically and creatively also, frankly, was to work a lot with private clients. I just fell into it very organically. I had a mentor pass down one private client to me. I had a great experience with that student. And slowly at first, and then quite quickly after a little while, my practice grew. So I was teaching like 25 private yoga sessions a week for a long time. And then I started doing some mentoring and training for teachers as well in 2012. So slowly have cut back a little bit on the number of one-on-one clients I see weekly, although that is still the bulk of my income is working with private clients. About 2/3 of my income is through that. And then the other third is through training and mentoring teachers. And also actually I teach one group class a week. And I have always loved teaching group yoga classes and have kept at least one or two on my schedule because I do just feel like it's a very different skill than teaching private lessons. And
Oh, yeah, it is.
I didn't want to lose it,
Yeah, it is
I
a
didn't want to lose it.
skill.
Yeah. So I am teaching pretty full-time private yoga clients. I work mostly virtually, which was not something I anticipated. I had taught hardly online at all until like March 20th of 2020 when I had to transition my whole practice to virtual because I don't have any other way to like make an income. Like this is how I've been paying my health insurance and paying my rent and then my mortgage for 20 years. So this is like my job. I had to figure out a way to move online and I did. But it worked well. And we can talk more about this if you want, but the way that I teach really translated very well to a virtual format. So towards the end of the pandemic, I had a baby and moved to another like area outside of Washington, D.C. And so I've kept all my students virtual, which has made it possible for me to teach a lot, even in a pretty reduced schedule. Like I used to teach from 7 a.m. to like 5 or 6 p.m., 5 days a week, like straight through, like just teaching all day, like 6, 7 clients a day. As a mom of a 3-year-old now, that's like not something I could do, but so I teach from like 8:30 to 3:30 most days, 5 days a week, but I pack a lot of teaching into those short hours.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. But it's so much less than I used to
for the
do.
phase
So
that you're in. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. For sure. So that takes us to now. It's the area I live in is called Reston, Virginia. It's Northern Virginia, just outside of DC. And yeah, just,
Wow.
making it one day at a time here.
It's so interesting. So, when you were doing the longer days, like 7:30 to 5 something, that's pre-kids,
Yeah.
pre-kid. But now you have a 3.5-year-old and you're still doing 8:30 to 3:30.
He goes to preschool and he's in
Yeah, so
preschool.
it's
He
like
gets dropped off at preschool. Him and his dad leave at like 8:15. I have like 15 minutes to like get my life together. And then I'm
Mm-hmm.
like at my computer to teach. And then I teach, you know, I mean, I have like 10-minute breaks in between clients. And then
Yeah,
I'm done at like 3:15 most days, and then pickups at 3:40. So that's that. That's the day,
that's
you know?
that. That's the
Yeah.
day. But you're doing that 5 days a week, not four, not three. Like you're
No.
doing that every day. Wow. So, I mean, it sounds like you're making a significant contribution to your income as a household
Yeah.
with
I mean, yeah. I
that
mean, that's,
amount
I'm,
of.
I am paying, my business is paying me the same amount now that it did like 5 years ago when I was teaching much, much more. I haven't
Much
been able to
more.
give myself a raise because like there's not the funds for that. But yeah, I mean, for a long, my husband and I were 50-50 for a long time. Now my income is sort
Yeah.
of stagnated as my hours have dropped down, and like thankfully his income has gone up a bit. But yeah, I mean, it's
Oh,
a
good.
significant, no, we depend on my income. Like we couldn't live without it.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
clearly, yeah, if you're doing, yeah. It's like, it's so interesting. So I love female entrepreneurs. Okay. Like I am just,
I know. I get that.
you like, I can hardly like contain myself. Like if I get a chance to talk to someone like you, especially a movement professional, obviously, is
Hmm.
like my number one, like I'm just like I want to talk about everything and every crevice, and it can be overwhelming for the other person.
No,
I
I
don't
love
know.
it. I'm here.
But I just love it so much, and I think it's because it's our our people, okay? This is how I see it. Like there's like this plane of movement professionals, Pilates, yoga, physical therapists, chiropractors, like all these people, right? And they care more about their clients than anyone else cares about them.
Yeah.
Like we're the type of people that like wake up at 2 a.m. and we're like, why did I cue like that? That was a weird cue. Did it even work? No, she didn't get it. I should have probably said something else. Why did I touch them like we're always like
Completely.
thinking
No, I wake
about
up at 6 a.m. going like, you know, this poor student, she is having such a hard time figuring out this hip pain. And the physical therapist didn't help and the neurosurgeon didn't help. And like, we're slowly figuring it out, but what else could I recommend? Maybe she should try physical, like pelvic floor physical therapy. No, completely. I do feel like
yes,
I'm
you're
like the keeper of these people's kind of
yes.
body and body information and body data and like mental emotional data, and you know, in a way that like almost no one else in their life is. And I love
100.
that part of it. I
I mean,
really
I
like
have
that.
goosebumps from you
Yeah.
saying that, like the keeper of, like
Yeah.
we're trusted in a way that is like inexplainable, right? Like
Yeah.
so so my passion to support my peers, my female entrepreneur movement professionals, it's like get your message out there. Like
Yeah.
you can charge more, you can actually make a good income.
Yeah.
But the thing that I notice across that plane is lack of confidence,
Hmm.
imposter syndrome, blah, blah, blah. And that those are the two main things. Just like, why would anyone listen to me? I'm not good enough, all the things, which
Hmm.
I don't know if you're like that, but like, I still think that 15 years in, like,
Hmm.
it doesn't go away. I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to be a doctor. I don't want to be. I'm not a medical professional. Proudly, right? Like that
Hmm.
is a different industry and we go there for certain things. And so it's a weird thing. So why I'm bringing that up is because I
Hmm.
loved when you said in 2020, I had to figure it out. So a lot of people did, and then a lot of people didn't.
I know. Yeah.
They just kind of drowned or changed careers or whatever. So how did you do it? What did you say to yourself? Like, how did you have the confidence to go 100% virtual from never doing that before?
Yeah. One of the things that helped is I think I was like I was an early adopter to like where COVID was taking us. I kind of knew early on that this was going to be a like a world-changing event for absolutely everybody. I don't know if
Oh.
you remember it like this, but you know, when the things were closing, like that second or third week in March, it was said like at least 2 weeks to flatten the curve. And I was like, we are not closing for 2 weeks. We are closing for months and months and months. Like I knew, partly because I had a lot of people in my life who worked in public health. My dad actually works at a medical school. He does their like distance learning. He's like an online educator in some ways through the Department of Defense in DC. And he was tasked with moving their entire medical school online in January of 2020 because like the Department of Defense saw what was coming and they had to get ready. So I knew like when things started shutting down, I was like, this is not 2 weeks. This is going to be months and months. And like I cannot afford to miss months and months of work. Like that's not an option. I didn't even have a kid, but we still couldn't have afforded that. That was just like not. So luckily, I did have one private client that I had been working with probably at that point just for a few months, maybe 2 months at that point virtually because she was an in-person client. I had at that point a little space in my home that people came to and she had moved to California. And when she moved to California, the first thing I did was like find her a new yoga teacher who she loved, but she also was like having some pain and issues crop up and she was like, nobody knows my body like you. Would you be willing to just like chat with me on Zoom for a second so you can like help me figure out what I should do? And I was like, definitely. And then we were just chatting on Zoom and I was like, here, do you want to just get down on the floor and let me just see if you lift your hips into a bridge? Like what, you know, is there evenness? Is there unevenness in your pelvis? Like what's firing, what's not firing? She was like, sure, I can do that. And then I was like, hey, I think we could just do your private yoga lessons virtually like this. Do you want to try that? She was like, yeah, I would love that if you'd be willing. So I had done about 2 months of working with her weekly online. So when COVID was like beginning, when I realized that I had to switch everybody to virtual, the first thing I did was email that student. I get like goosebumps every time I tell this story because it's just like every day that week is like burned into my memory a deeper, like there was like a deeper understanding of what was coming. Like I remember Wednesday of that week being in my car, like driving to a yoga class in person, being like, I don't think I should be doing this. And then like by Thursday, I had decided that like I had to switch everyone virtual. I emailed my client in California and said, I've got to move everyone virtual. I feel like I can do this because I know how well it's been working for you. Will you record a video with me explaining your experience, you know, doing virtual private lessons that I can share with all my students when I email them today and tell them that we have to move to virtual? And she did. So I emailed everybody, got everybody, you know, like spent a lot of the time of the next few days helping people figure out how to use Zoom, how to set up their cameras so I could see them well. Friday, March 13th was my birthday. I like went and got my hair cut and I was like, I should not be here. And then I went to the Apple store and I bought earbuds because I knew like I was going to be, I bought a camera, a better camera for my laptop. And I went home and that was it. And by Monday, whatever that was, 13, 14, the 17th, the 16th, I had everybody in their normal spot, in their like standing weekly appointment spot, but just virtual. And I did not miss a single day of work. I taught my like full week.
Yeah. Wow, you did it fast.
Yeah, I did it fast.
You did it fast. I was like the opposite. I was like, this is not,
Yeah.
they're going to shut down the world. Like, come on. Like, I was so like, whatever.
We've never seen anything like that. No one alive today has seen anything like that. So
Right.
I think makes a lot of sense that most people like really couldn't conceptualize it because we'd never seen anything like that before.
You had this with your dad and his job. You had a very serious example of reality that a lot of people didn't have. Like that's to hear that they're moving an entire department in January.
Yeah.
Before March. You're like, yeah. And I was at a yoga class with a girl. I love yoga, by the way. I do yoga all the time.
Yeah.
I just don't teach it. And I want to keep it that way for all eternity. I am a student.
Good.
But
It's
I was in a
good.
yoga class, right? It's like I'm the student. It's where
Mm-hmm.
I'm the student. Um, I was in a class with my girlfriend, and we were moving and then we were rolling up our mats, and she said, this is probably like the last class we're ever going to do in person. And I'm super pregnant. I have a 2020
Oh,
baby.
oh, bless
Yeah, so
you.
in
That
March
was hard. Oh
yeah,
my
I was
God.
I was pregnant with my first baby,
Mm-hmm.
and we were doing all these prenatal yoga classes, and she was pregnant with me, and she was like, "Yeah, this is our last class for sure." And I was like, "What are you I'll see you tomorrow." Like, and she was right. Like
No, I know. Yeah.
the next day, this is in La Jolla in San Diego. Like it was the whole world it was over.
It was
And
shut
I was
down.
like,
Yeah.
I did not cherish that class enough. Like
Yeah.
with other humans.
I
And they were
know.
pregnant humans too, right? Because we were all in a prenatal yoga class. Anyway, so she had more of your like, no, this is for real,
Yeah, for
And then I
sure.
remember an NBA game being canceled. And I have like, I have like an NBA dance history, and I was like, there's 20,000 people in a auditorium, like in a stadium. Would it like for them to cancel that? That's kind of serious.
No, it turns out it was really serious, but it was
Really
so,
serious.
and I did a lot of work really early on to support yoga teachers because I think most people were more like you were because it was just so hard to imagine because we've never seen anything like that. But I kept being like, you guys, this is real. This is happening. This is going to be happening for a really long time. If you make your income teaching yoga, you have got to figure out how to make your teaching really effective online. Like, let's go. And I started doing a
Yes,
lot
let's
of work
go.
to support yoga teachers in that time.
I mean, they're so lucky that you were like that.
Yeah, it was
So I
fun.
have my story similar at that time in a little bit of a different way where it worked out for me that 2017, 2018, I had just met my current husband, and I moved to Chicago, and I had a wait list of like 4 months, and I was in San Francisco, and I was like, I'm moving. So by 2020, I had been working online already for 3 years.
Oh, good for you. Yeah.
Yeah, because my clients were like, some of my clients I just referred out, but other clients were like, absolutely not. I will never see anyone else ever for all eternity. You have like these
Hmm.
diehard
For
nest egg
sure.
people,
Hmm.
and those ones were like, I don't care. Online's great. We'll buy equipment, put it in some whatever. So yeah, I was like 3 years in to that. And then so it was kind of easy for me in a way
Hmm.
because I was
Hmm.
just so used to Zoom. And
Yeah, that's lucky.
Zoom starts coming online, and everyone's like freaking out. Like, I don't know how to log in. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this for freaking years already.
Right.
Um, so that's I think a really useful story for people to hear that you saw what was coming. You were like, boom, boom, boom. As an entrepreneur, taking action when you need to quickly is like so hard for people. And maybe that's where I feel comfortable. I am an implementer. Like I could just hear something on a podcast or online or from a talk. I'll just try it. Like the
Yeah.
next day, that or the next hour. Like I have no problem trying something and watching it fail because I just find it so interesting. Um and you were just like boom boom boom.
Yeah. I'm not
So,
always like that about everything necessarily, but I think like when it comes to
mm,
income, because this has always been my sole source of income, like I graduated college at 22 with a BFA in modern dance performance. I was like making my world, did my yoga teacher training, became like was building a dance career, was building a yoga career simultaneously. I never even really waited tables. Like I just like literally have never had any other way to get food on the table
oh
other than teaching yoga. I have
wow.
no backup. I have no backup. I have
Yeah,
no fallback.
which
Like I just
works
this is
out
what
in
I
your
know how
favor. This is
this
what
is
you
what I
do.
know how to do. Yeah.
And you can literally do it forever.
I
like
love
for
it
as long
so
as you
much.
can.
Yeah,
It's like so amazing.
I know.
Yeah, that's so we have such a similar I have a bachelor's of in dance as well.
Yeah.
Um
Did you
and
go
I
to
get it where you're
ASU?
like
Did you go to
I didn't.
ASU?
I'm not from here. So my
Oh, okay.
I went to San Francisco State to finish up. I was in
Nice.
Orange County first, but then I moved to San Francisco for the Warriors and whatever. So then I had to
Cool.
take a little break from college to do that. And then I finished school, but it was interesting because my dance director at the time, I was like, hey, I'm gonna just take like one season off because I just have to finish my degree. Like it's like one semester away from me, like I just had to get it done. And she basically was like, I can't promise you a spot back. Like she was not cool about it. And she didn't take me back the next
Oh,
season.
I'm sorry.
So I know she said it. She warned me.
Yeah.
But I wasn't gonna like not finish because of a threat. Like
No, it's
I
good you
wanted
did
to
that.
finish.
Yeah, it's good you have your
What
college
am I gonna
degree.
do? Yeah, like dance another season and put it off. And now I'm like 22, 23, still haven't completed it. Like, so I did it and then I paid the consequence of the politicalness of the dance
Mm-hmm.
world, but
Mm-hmm.
she ran the show. So, okay, so is this are you living on the East Coast during all this time, the 2020?
Yes, like Philly,
Yeah,
New
okay.
York, DC. That's it.
Oh, Philly. Wow.
Yeah.
All super East Coast.
I'm a
All of them.
super
Yeah.
east. See, in my all black, like I'm just like as East Coast as they come. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. People
Mm-hmm.
always think I'm from the East Coast. I'm like, it's just because I'm loud. I don't know, but there's
Yeah.
no other. That's it. That's all I got for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you started helping yoga instructors get more comfortable online. What was the number one or one to three things that you were seeing that they were having challenges with?
I think the biggest thing that teachers were struggling with at that time, and I think some still do if they're still teaching this way, is they couldn't get their students to turn their cameras on. So they would be back on their mat doing the practice while they're teaching to a screen of black. They're not actually teaching people.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, we got to get our students to turn their camera on because the only way that you can teach, I think, is if you can see. Teaching is about relationship, and relationship requires you to be able to see what they're doing and communicate with them and then communicate back with you. So, what a lot of yoga teachers were doing is like filming themselves practicing and then like uploading that or sharing that. But like, that is just to me, it's instructing, which is the word people use a lot, yoga instructors, but I actually intentionally use the word yoga teacher because to me teaching is a different skill than instructing that requires dialogue and interaction and relationship. So I was like, we got to get our students to turn their cameras on. And the way that we do that is by making it clear to them that the only person who can see them is you, the teacher. And the only reason you can convince them of that is if they're not looking at the screen either. And the way you convince them of that is by doing nothing, no demonstrating, sitting at your desk, looking at your screen with your mic, watching, teaching to what you see. So I worked a lot. I have always taught like this. I've always trained people to teach like this, teaching without demonstrating. Not because demonstrating as a tool sometimes isn't helpful. It definitely is, and I definitely do it. But a lot of people are visual learners, and some things are much easier for people to understand if they can hear it and see it at the same time. So people get really like mad at me when I talk about this. I'm not saying never show anything, but I'm saying that if you only know how to teach by like describing what you're doing with your own body, then you're not going to be able to see your students. You're not going to be able to watch, and you're going to be teaching to your own experience rather than your students. So it's a different skill to be able to sit still and look at the people you're teaching. This could be online or in person, and have enough different ways to say something, be able to articulate movement concepts and skills and shapes and experiences in enough different ways that like you can help people be in the experience that they want. And then for the student, it's a much more internally focused experience. It's much less about the aesthetics. It's much less competitive. And then for the online space, it meant that they're not looking up at the screen to see what's going on because they don't need to. There's nothing to see up there except my face just sitting here talking just the way I am right now. And then they'll be much more comfortable turning the camera on. I had no issue getting all my students to turn their camera on. And in 2020, my classes were huge. I'm talking like 70, 80 people twice a week.
That's a lot of freaking people.
And I was charging $10 a class. So you do the math on that.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
And I had 90 people with their cameras on because they know how I teach, which is like, I want to be able to see you. I'm not correcting you. I'm not fixing you, but I'm supporting you. I'm witnessing you. I'm giving you suggestions. I'm giving you ideas. I'm just like with you as your teacher. And I can't do that if I can't see you. So that was a lot of my focus in 2020. It was like teaching teachers how to teach without demonstrating and helping them communicate the reasons why their students should turn their camera on. Because it's also much more fulfilling, I think, as a teacher, if you're like actually seeing people and engaging with them. Because people were getting burned out fast, just like talking to the ceiling.
It's horrible.
Teaching the
it's
ceiling.
The worst.
Yes.
Wow. I am so shocked by this. Them teaching to black squares. I just didn't expect you to say that. Because to me, it'd be like obvious, like of course. I don't know. But I never taught yoga, so I don't, it's like a different world. But I was very much like you. Like, I'm just here.
It's very
the cue.
Yeah. And see, I think like you and I have a lot of the same priorities. Like we're using movement in a way to like it's a sort of an inquiry based way of teaching. What are you noticing? What are you experiencing? Where could we direct your attention to shift that? Are there ways that we could like shift the way that you're moving to create like more optimal movement patterns? It's not a linear hierarchical kind of progress. It's not competitive. It's not based on aesthetics. But most of the way most yoga teachers have been trained is based on aesthetics, even if they say it's not competitive, because it's like here's the problem. Yoga is sold as a healing practice and then taught as a performative one. And this is a problem because it can't be both. It can't be something that's going to help you feel better and be something where there's a linear hierarchy that you're trying to achieve. Can't be both. So people say this is a healing practice, but then because they don't often have like the language to describe movement, movement patterns, shapes, different kind of movement skills in any way other than performance-based language, like do this to be better. We're going for this expression of the pose. This version of the pose is safer than this version to protect your back. Do it like this, like very sort of black and white, dogmatic, performance-based. It's sold as a healing practice. It's taught as a performative one. And then the way that people sort of tried to protect students, protect themselves, or teachers tried to be trauma informed and tried to take that performance element out of it, was there was a big culture of like in a virtual space, go ahead and turn your camera off. No need to be seen. No need to be seen. Because then the idea is if you're being seen, then you could be criticized or you could be compared or you could be striving for something. And I'm just saying, like, I think there's a deeper reason to be seen. And it's so that I can like be with you and help you and actually teach you. Not because we're going to like attain some like beautiful version of the shape, that's a performance-based teaching. But because we're going to find a version of the shape that's most useful for you. I do this even in my group. I do it a lot with private students, but group classes too. I have a student who I know really shortened, is like a little weaker in their left psoas. And so they really kind of bear down on their left side when they're looking for stability, kind of bear down through the armpit, hike up the hip, instead of finding that like deeper tone in the psoas and the TVA. Okay, so then like for that student, in both sides of a standing pose sequence, I want them to really focus on lengthening their left lateral line, which means it's going to be a little different on both sides. But that's the kind of thing that I can like see and offer and help and support, not because like we want it to be the fanciest version of the pose, but because we want it to be the version of the pose that's most useful to that student. So camera's got to be on. But because there's this dichotomy of being sold as a healing practice and taught as a performative one, the only way people knew how to take the performance out of it was to take the relationship out of it too. So camera's off.
That's so wild to
I know.
hear. You know, as a yoga student, and I'm like looking at all my classes, and I'm like, it's so performance based, right?
Yeah.
Like, how long can you be on one leg? Can you do the standing split? What version of tree pose did you pick? I picked this one. Oh, her arms up. Now my arms have to go up. Whatever. Like, it's like you're looking around instead of like, what feels good to me right now for the purpose of practicing what I'm here to practice. It's just crazy. And that's hard.
It's hard. It's hard as a student. It's really hard as a teacher, which is why I think so many people don't do it, because they want to teach in this like tender, thoughtful, intentional way. Like they'll give a whole Dharma talk about ahimsa and not harming and being kind to themselves, but they don't know how to translate that into actual movement cueing, because it's really, no, we're not taught it. The only reason I learned how to do it was because of how much work I did with private clients. I like learned how to change my language. And because this is something I care about so deeply, as I really am just like constantly like listening for my cueing and being like, oh, that's still that old aesthetic based cueing. Let me just note that. I'm not going to say that next time. And I've been on myself for 20 years to clean that up. So this is something I'm really passionate about working with teachers on. I'd love for you to come to my class. You should come. Fridays at 10:30, Missy. I want you to come. Eastern, 10:30 Eastern.
Yeah, so 7:30. Not a bad time. We'll talk about that.
We'll discuss.
I mean, that sounds amazing. Yeah, this is really fascinating from so many levels, right? Because I'm obviously from the neuro lens, and
which is sold as a healing practice and taught as a healing practice. I think that's been my experience with your work.
Yeah.
But yoga is this confusing thing.
I'm like, is it? Yeah.
And there's performance like function where you're like helping people get more function, right? So you're like helping people get like a better, rotation in their cervical spine. And that's helpful. That's good. And so I'm not saying that we're not working towards better function. In fact, that's exactly what I'm working towards.
Right. Totally,
but it's not this like linear hierarchy, like most challenging version of the shape. It's a much more personalized, like improved function sort of situation. It's definitely
an experience of a student is like you progress and you should and you will type like, you know, like you look across the class and you're in your version and there's always at least one person doing the most, right? And I'm like, how long is it going to take me to get to that?
But also do
I even want to?
For me, I wonder if this is because I have a lot of hypermobility. So I have like a ton of instability in all my joints. I have so many like effed up movement patterns that I've been cleaning up for the last 10 years. So for a long time, the like kind of less range of motion, kind of more mid-range, smaller version of the shape where I could be cleaner in like my stability and like the patterns that were like the new patterns I was trying to develop was much harder for me than the end range
So
shape.
much harder.
Yeah.
So much harder.
Right. So like, I do this a lot of this work with teachers, because teachers will sort of get to a place and then be like, what am I doing? What's happening up here? And I'm like, yeah, let's like really think about this. Okay, you have
Yeah,
that
you're like
nagging,
falling into it and you're just
right.
there.
You have this nagging pain in your right hip and your left shoulder. Like, let's start to unpack the movement patterns that create, the tendonitis in your glute med, et cetera. And then, like I'll adjust. And then this teacher's like, well, the pose is so much harder now. I'm like, okay, good. Right? What are we doing here? I mean, are we on stage, like trying to like be beautiful and make it as easy as possible so we can do 3 shows a day? We are not. This is a healing practice. If we made a smaller version of the shape and it feels harder and you feel that work in some of the deeper stabilizers that have not been working, seems good to me.
It's so valuable because so many yogis are hypermobile.
I know.
That's why they do yoga, because they perform well in that arena, right? Like if you just fall into your splits, that's very different than actively being in the splits.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Like a smaller range is much harder than just sinking.
Definitely.
But the sinking looks better because my splits are whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's really interesting conversation. So how are you take a lot of one-on-ones, you do a couple classes, 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
How are you packaging helping your colleagues and peers and yoga teachers?
Yeah. So the main way now is I have a membership community that's called the Mentor Session Sangha. And that's like kind of the funnel. Everybody comes in through and we meet. There's like an online forum and we have Q&As twice a month and we have asana class every week. Sometimes I teach, sometimes they teach each other and get feedback from each other, which is really great. Do bonus workshops. So that's kind of the place, is the membership community. And then I do also just one-on-one mentoring with teachers. And I have more and more teachers who are coming to me just for like private yoga lessons to do some of this like deeper work and understanding their own movement patterns.
So why do you think you care about this so much?
That's a good question. I have like goosebumps. I'm like teary-eyed. I'm like really emotional about it. I don't know. I mean, I think so. I was a dancer and I came from a dance background, and right away though could feel the elements in a yoga class that were performative and didn't like them. Like I didn't like it. I was like, this is supposed to be different. This was sold to me as something that was healing mentally and emotionally and spiritually and physically. And like, why am I like trying to get up into this handstand and not able to get up into it and like near tears? Like that's what are we doing here? And so I think it was just like my process of maturing, because I was so young. I started teaching when I was 22. So my process of maturing in my yoga practice and in my spiritual practice, that I really became passionate about taking the performative teaching out of it. And I think because so many people do want to and have the heart and the intention to, and then don't have the language skills to do it, that I feel like really passionate about filling that gap for people as much as I can.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like your dance background highlighted what's going on in your industry.
Yeah, for sure. And as a dancer, even like my favorite thing about being a dancer was the creative process of choreographing and being So and then my second favorite part was being in class and just like the work, just like showing up for the work. And then way, way, way further down the list was performing. I never really loved performing that much. Like it just wasn't my favorite part, which is why I didn't last that long. Cause you have to like really want to be on stage to like suffer through everything you have to suffer. And I just like didn't care that much about it. Like I loved art school because I loved the creation and the creative process. But once I got out in the real dance world in New York City, I was like, oh God, this is like not that fun.
Oh, that's
It was
hardcore.
it was hardcore.
That is hardcore dance
And I
world.
just didn't
Like
love
my
the performing about it enough to like put myself through that. 600 people and an audition for one spot at the Paul Taylor Dance Company. And then you like get to the end of that day and that's it. It's over. It just is like, I just couldn't keep doing that.
and that's like how long is that process? Like 2 weeks minimum
Yeah,
or more?
sometimes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the NBA was like 400 people for
Right.
9 spots.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy.
But like that's nothing compared to like New York though. But I remember I was so young. I think it was 19 or 20 and I was auditioning for like a cruise ship
Oh, for sure.
dancer.
I had a lot of friends do that. A lot.
Yeah, like what? I don't know. I just wanted to
No, it
dance.
was a good
So, but I
job.
like I actually love performing.
Right.
Um
I could
I
tell.
feel like
I can tell that
I
you
love
love
performing.
performing. I
Well,
love that about you.
it's I felt like I could show my training off, right? Like
Totally.
look how hard I've worked. Like it's like
That's
look.
cool. Mm-hmm.
But so I auditioned, whatever. It was however I was in Orange County, LA. To that traffic, that's like a 3-hour drive, even if it's 25 minutes away, right? Like
Yikes.
I would never live in LA. Like I could never. So, anyways, we're in LA, whatever. Do the audition. Obviously, I get home like freaking midnight. It's like a whole day for one audition. And they're wrapping up. And I'll never forget it because they had this table and all the judges with all their papers. And this man was like, hey, you come here. And I was like, me? Because I didn't make it. So I was like, why would you want to talk to me? I'm like done here. Had my little leg warmers on or whatever. So he was like, hey, I just wanted you to know you were the best dancer in the room, but we were looking for a tall redhead.
Ugh.
And I was like,
Crushing.
why the frick did you let me audition? Why didn't the audition say
Tall redhead.
tall redhead?
100%.
I would have
Mm-hmm.
not been here today.
Yeah.
Because what's the point of so that
Brutal.
like
Brutal.
pissed me.
Yeah.
Don't say in my eyeballs that I was good and sorry, like you're a short, curly-haired brunette. Like definitely not gonna make the part. That was one of my like kind of like F dance moments.
Sure.
And then I had another one where I was in San Francisco and I got this gig with Too Short. I like never tell this story.
What is
Like,
I
do you
don't
know who
even
that
know.
is?
No.
He's a rapper.
Oh, amazing.
This is like 2000, like
I'm obsessed. I'm already
like a
obsessed.
rapper.
Great.
Right?
Love it.
I take the gig because it's like he's doing a concert at some club in San Francisco. You'll make like $200 to get up on stage and like do a couple 8 counts, like whatever.
Right.
You just say yes because you just like, that sounds fun. And he was like rapping and then like bent me over and did like, and I'm on stage, so I'm going to perform, obviously.
You're going to do it. Yeah.
But like, I get in the dressing room like after, and I was just like, this is not, I'm like, I'm done here.
Wow.
Like, I'm not going to get bent over for probably less than $200. I probably made $150. Like if I don't even know. It wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
Even if it was a lot of money, I was just like, oh, I just got bent over.
Yeah.
No, I have a degree in dance. Okay. Like it's not
Right.
like that.
No, I know.
It's like art.
Yeah.
It's art for my soul. So that was one of those 2 moments where my like I don't think I can do this anymore. Yeah, just a wild ride. But look where it took us.
And here we are.
Yeah. What was your favorite? I love modern. Like modern's my like.
Yeah, so classical modern was like my
okay.
Like my dream job would have been a job at the Paul Taylor Dance Company. And I did a lot of like work with some of their like offshoots, like members who left the company and started their own thing. I did some stuff with them. I
Okay.
studied at the Graham School and the Ailey School as a young person. And like, yeah,
Oh, you
so
did?
classical modern was my jam. But
Oh,
Taylor, I loved partly because like I loved it. It was very athletic, which was a good fit for me. And I there were not a lot of dance companies where like my body was the right body because like you, I'm like short and I'm kind of built more like a
yeah.
gymnast. But that's what Taylor dancers were like. So it was,
Yeah.
and they were just jumpers, which is what I was as a big jumper. So
Yeah, same. I
yeah,
was so good at jumps. Yeah. Oh, I love hearing this
I
story.
know it makes me like, yeah, I really need to get my ass
It's,
back in a dance class. It's been so long.
girl, that's the story of my life.
I know.
In San Diego, where I lived for 5 years before Arizona, I took like 3 dance classes a week. They were everywhere
So
all the
fun.
time. Now I'm in Arizona. I cannot find one. And it is so painful.
Yeah.
I know I can do online stuff, but it's just not the same.
Yeah, well,
Like
you
walking
need the
into,
space to move. Like you gotta cover that ground. It's not the
yeah, you
same in
like
your
want
house.
to learn choreo with a group. Like
Yeah, for sure.
it's the juice of it. So I'm like, I really took that for granted, but I didn't know. I just thought like, oh, everywhere has adult dance classes. Like, of course. And then I moved to Arizona. I was like, no,
Hmm.
the kids here are super competitive. So everyone focuses on that, on the
Got
kids
it.
being
Mm-hmm.
competitive, which I also love, and that's amazing and great. My
Mm-hmm.
kids will probably be a part of it, but
Yeah, totally.
um, so so when it comes to you having this like deep passion and message you want to share to yoga teachers and honestly anyone really that is being online or in our industry, like what are some things that you would love to take this moment to share with them? Like I wish I could say this,
Yeah.
and
Well, the first thing I'm going to say is if you want to teach in an inquiry based, healing way and remove the performative nature of your teaching and you feel like you don't know how, it's not your fault. Like we were all taught for the most part how to teach movement with very aesthetic, dogmatic cues. So it's not your fault. But it is if you want to be different, you have to do the work to be different. So a recommendation I would make is to record yourself teaching and then take your class. Take your own class. And every time you hear yourself say, try to do it like this, or you should do it like this, or you're pointing towards a specific way to move, just ask yourself, why am I saying that? And there might be a very good reason. And it might be a reason based on function, or it might be a reason based on sort of like generally what we see in the population most often. I'm not saying that you can't be specific, but I'm saying if you're going to be specific, you want to start to unpack the why behind the specificity. And it takes time, but it will change your teaching completely. And it will change your students' experience. And I think it will change you as a teacher and your sort of clarity and confidence about why you're doing what you're doing. A lot of people I know in my industry slowly burn out. Teaching yoga is hard work. It's often very fragmented type of work. It's often not very well paid. But I think what has kept me from burning out is by just constantly creatively growing and evolving. And I think I'm getting more and more clear every year on like what I think the purpose of asana is, how I want to use asana in these highly specific ways that are not about aesthetics, but are about deeper function. And teachers can have their own sort of view about like what is most important to them, what are their priorities, what do they want to communicate in their teaching. But I just encourage teachers, whether it's about exactly the specific thing I'm talking about or something different, to continue to try to get more clear about why you're doing things the way that you are, because that's what will allow you to continue to grow and evolve and like really build a body of work that has your stamp on it, that says like, this is me, this is what I care about, this is what I'm focusing on, this is who I can help, this is what I can do. And the more clarity you have in that reason behind what you're doing, I think the less likely you are to get burned out, because you'll like, like I have this real passion. You will have your own passion for your own thing, but it only comes from inquiry about, why am I doing this the way that I am?
That's incredible. I mean, film yourself, then take your class. Mic drop, okay? Like that will school some people. Like film yourself and take your own class. That's such incredible coaching. I'm going to use that because like I always tell people film a lot of things, but I've never thought of that. Be your own teacher, take your own class. Like what would happen to your movement if you were listening to your cues?
Yeah, and I think if you're nervous, you feel like you don't like it, like that's important. We should look at that. We should address that.
Yeah.
Like there's only one way to look at that, and that's right in the face. Like take your own class, and then the things that you don't like, do them differently.
Yes, change them.
Yeah.
And you'll mess up. You're going to mess up.
Of
because you probably
course.
said it 10,000 times that way.
Yeah.
But you tried it on your body with your cue and you're like, what the frick is she saying? Like that's incredible. Okay, so to wrap up here,
Yeah.
if you were going to write younger self, your younger Francesca self, a letter, what's that first line going to say to her?
It makes me emotional. Let me think. It would say, a lot of what's coming is better than you realize, and a lot of what's coming is much harder than you can imagine, and you're up for the challenge. Just ride the wave.
That's an amazing letter.
Yeah, it's a good question. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. I ask it to myself often, so I always want to hear what other people would say, because we're older now. We have wisdom, and it's like, what would you say to yourself? It's just like, I don't know if you've ever done this meditation where you're like older.
Yes.
And you go back to your younger self, like face to face, and it's like, it's so emotional. It's so emotional.
Yeah, I did that on a retreat with my teacher in 2014, where I met a version of myself like 20 or 30 years in the future. And then honestly, I've had a relationship with that version of myself ever since, and go to her still for advice.
Oh!
To figure out what I need to do to become her.
Wow.
It's cool.
That's incredible. The whole other opposite way.
Yeah.
The older. Oh, that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let you go.
Thank you so much.
That was an incredible episode. I can't wait to share your story with my audience. How do we find you, just really quick?
Sure. So francescacervero.com. We can put the link, I'm sure, in your show notes. Yeah. Everything. I have a podcast. It's just for yoga teachers. It's called The Mentor Sessions. But that podcast, along with my membership community for teachers, my online group classes, you can all find that on my website, and also Francesca Cervero on Instagram.
Perfect. And I have one episode somewhere hiding in there. In that
you
podcast.
Do. You were a guest. Very popular guest. Yeah.
Find me in there, and we can swap and share. And thank you so much for your time today. And I know that they're going to love this. And I will see you on the interwebs.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Missy.
Thank
Bye.
you. Okay.